do have some news this morning in the National Football League. Earlier this hour, not that long ago, Ian Rappaport, NFL Network, tweeted out, sources, Bears quarterback Justin Fields, out the last month with a dislocated thumb, is expected to start Sunday versus the Lions, assuming today's practice goes well. So if you're inclined, if you like the Bears, maybe if Fields is playing, shop around, see if you can find a 10 still out there. Circa was at 10 earlier. They moved to 9.5. A lot of spots are 9.5, but if you want the 10, I would look to see if any book still has it this morning on the Bears and the Lions. And that leads us into the best and worst NFL and college teams ATS and with totals on the year. You can find all these numbers at the website, VSiN.com. When you go there, navigate through, and the Lions are the best team, Paulie, in the NFL ATS. They're 7-2 against the spread on the season. Clear-cut number one, only covering on average by 1.5 points per game, but they did have a blowout loss in there against the Ravens. Philly is the second-best team. ATS, they're 5-2-2, 2 pushes on the year already. Dallas is 6-3 ATS, covering on average by 6.3 points per game. The Vikings are 6-3-1, and a bunch of other teams are 6-3. Miami, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Jacksonville, and Pittsburgh. Your worst NFL teams against the spread. Carolina is 1-6-2, and they're missing the cover on average by 4.7 points per game. Look at the Patriots.
Yep.
We call the point spread the great equalizer. They're 2-8 against the spread. They're missing on average by 7.5 points per game. Come on.
Yeah.
The Falcons are also 2-8. The Giants and the Saints are 2-7-1, and the Bills are now 3-7 ATS.
Thoughts on Dorsey getting whacked after we got off the air?
Yeah, I don't think they fired the right guy.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. McDermott could be next. Don't lose to the Jets. You know, certainly the offense hasn't been the problem. I know Allen turnovers are the issue, but 12 men on the field and the all-out blitz on third down wasn't Dorsey's fault.
You know, we can do, I think we're going to plan on doing this on Friday, next coach fired. With that schedule coming up with the Bills, what if they lose to the Jets, have a chance to lose 5-6 in a row? I could see him getting whacked.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that guy being next.
I'd shake it up. Absolutely. Too many cooks in the kitchen, and a lot of people saying that he's interfered offensively as well.
Yeah.
And I don't get the don't let Allen take off and run and pick up first downs using his legs.
Agreed. Best NFL teams to the over. Not a lot here,
no.
But Cowboys are 6-3, and then you have 3 teams at 6-4 to the over: the Colts, the Bears, and the Cardinals. Bears playing much better defense, by the way, now than they were in the first month of the season, and Colts have played 2 straight unders. Your best NFL under teams. This has been the story of the NFL the entire season. The Raiders and Giants are 8-2 to the under. The Chiefs, Titans, Steelers, Buccaneers are 7-2 to the under. The Pats, Bills, Vikings, and Saints are 7-3 to the under. Moving on to college football. We now have one team at 9-1 on the season ATS. It's the local team out here, UNLV, and they're covering on average by 11.7 points per game. It's the best story in college football.
And taking money Saturday with the huge game at Air Force. They can play, they can win this conference.
Think about that.
They'll be in the conference title game if they can win out.
Do you agree with the line move this week?
Yes. It's been horrible the last 2 weeks.
For Air Force, yeah.
Yeah, the Air Force lost to Army, 2 wins. Then they lost to Hawaii, bad team. They were laying 19 in both.
Arizona, Liberty, Miami of Ohio, Coastal Carolina, they're 8-2 ATS. New Mexico State's 8-2-1. And then K-State, San Jose State, Oregon, Jacksonville State are all 7-2-1 ATS. That's another one. San Jose State 6-1 right now to win the Mountain West. They could do it.
Yeah.
They're playing great football right now for that team. Mm-hmm. The worst teams in college football ATS, Vandy, 1-10.
Can you believe it? It started, I had them week 0 against Hawaii, and it has been so bad. What's the cover, Georgia? Was that the cover?
I think that was the cover, yeah.
Oh, that was something. Yes, it's close at halftime, and then South Carolina just takes them behind the woodshed.
Yep.
Wow, what a debacle.
Miss State, Illinois, 2-8. Baylor's 2-7-1. And by the way, Baylor is missing the cover on average by 10.7 points per game. Yikes. Kent State and Memphis are 2-7-1. USC and La Tech 3-8. ATS, your best college over teams. How many times have you had LSU over this year?
Yep, several.
I've had them a couple.
Not enough, though, but it's 14 in a row and 17 of 18 to the over for LSU.
They're 10-0 this year to the over, and here's the big one, the big part about it. They're going over on average by 14 points per game. Like it's not even close in the market so far on average. USC 9. Can we get USC LSU in a bowl game? With all parties invested and like Daniel's going to play in the game and Caleb Williams going to play in the game?
Oh, God.
Set at 90?
Yeah.
The total?
Too low. Punts in the game, 2.5.
Yeah. But anyway, USC's 9-2, going over on average by 11.5 points per game. Memphis and New Mexico, along with Ja Tech, 8-2.
Very good.
Utah State, Boston College, Alabama, 7-2-1 to the over. Virginia, 6-2-2. Vanderbilt, 8-3 to the over. And then the best college teams of the under. The following teams are all 8-2 to the under. UCLA, Ohio State, Coastal Carolina, Arizona, Tulane, Iowa, and NC State. And then Ohio is 2-7-1 to the under. Look at the UCLA and Ohio State games. Bruins going under on average by 12 points per game. Ohio State by 10.2 points per game. There you go with the NFL and college football.
Very good. Thanks to our friends Chris Otto, Ian Duncan, and Jonathan Davis. A little hockey. First period over. Edmonton 11-3 on the season. Second period over. Ottawa's a perfect 13-0. First goal in the first 10. The Wild are 13-2. Edmonton's 11-3. And at home, every Wild game has been a goal in the first 10. ROI, based on risking $100. Vancouver, number 1, up 7 units. Likewise, Anaheim, followed by the Rangers, VGK, and the Bruins. Worst ROI, no surprise, you're down 9 units on the Sharks. You got the empty net goal there. Cover the puck line with Florida yesterday. Edmonton's down 7 units. Calgary, 6 and change. Islanders on that list as well for top-bottom with hockey. But other than the Ottawa second period and the first 10 with the Wild, not a lot sticks out so far early in the hockey season.
Panthers last night, a puck line winner. Did you see what happened in that game? They were down 3-2. Let's see here. I want to get the time right. San Jose scored 7:21 mark of the third quarter to go up 3-2.
Third period, yeah.
Then Florida scored 3 goals in the final 10 minutes to win 5-3,
okay.
and they covered the puck line.
I saw the empty net, yeah. Okay.
And Johnny Lazarus, NHL, does the picks every single day at the website VSiN.com. He suggested a 2-unit play on Anaheim yesterday against Nashville, catching plus 150 in that range. They got there. They won 3-2. And that was 2-0 Nashville, and then Anaheim came back to get him 3-2. Kid's good.
Yep. Good tweets on the committee, which we started the show off with. I like what Christian Ritter said. Excellent tweet. Will someone ever mention on that show that the SEC has a huge advantage only playing 8 conference games? No one talks about it.
Yeah,
Everyone else plays 9, and they play 8.
Right.
And they're playing cupcakes, one of the most important weekends of the season. I know.
This has driven me nuts for more than a decade. And again, I said this earlier in the week. I used to do it. I used to track the average point spread in these games for SEC teams this week. And it was always like 30 points on average or more. They schedule the weakest team imaginable before the final game of the season in their rivalry spot.
Yep.
And they get away with it.
Yep. And another tweet about how out of touch and lost this committee is with the artifacts and relics, where every metric and every stat points to Washington, which is number 2 in strength of record, has a better SOS and game control over Florida State. 5 teams are ranked in the Pac-12, 3 in the ACC. Florida State has 1 good win, LSU. Yet still, even though razor thin, their words, razor thin a week ago, Washington's still stuck behind Florida State.
By the way, they keep saying eye test. Florida State should have lost to an average Clemson team.
Boston College game was close, too.
They struggled for 3 quarters against Pitt.
Yes, another good one.
And they survived Miami, who stinks.
Yeah, right.
Where's your eye test now?
I don't get it.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.